So what we've got is we have phase change diagrams. Okay, and that's so just remember this is a physical process. It's not a chemical reaction. It's your ice cube, which is solid, melting into liquid water. And then if you boil it, you can produce some gaseous water, which is steam, right? And so as you can see right here, this is just showing you that this is where energy is being added when you are heading to the right. Okay. And so we've got that. Temperatures over here. So it's going to be going from low to high. So you can kind of see 0 degrees Celsius is right here, which is where ice will melt or water will freeze, right? And so as you can see, as we move across, this makes sense, right? We add some water. We're heading towards the first level right here. Okay. And this right here, this is the area where we are actually starting to melt. As you can see, it takes some time. So you actually have a little bit of time here where you are kind of reaching this equilibrium part where it's going forward and reverse, being solid, liquid, solid, liquid, solid, liquid. Okay. And then once you reach this end, now we've reached the next phase, which is liquid. So you can see this diagonal part was solid. This part is liquid, and then the top angle is gas. So once again, we're going to add some heat, and this liquid starts moving towards this part. So we're going to start boiling at this point, okay, until we reach this gaseous phase where it's all steam. And so this part right here is usually what gives people issues. It's because you're like, well, I'm adding heat. Why isn't it moving to the next thing? Well, it takes some time. You have to gather up enough heat for it to break apart those intermolecular forces in order to change those states of matter. And so just a couple things to point out that are mentioned down here. So as you're increasing temperature, you are definitely increasing the speed of those particles. And then as you're decreasing temperature, obviously you're decreasing that. So something that you need to keep in mind for the next slide, it's going to be asking you endo or exothermic process. It's not talking about a reaction now. We don't have reactants, we don't have products. We have one thing. We have liquid water or we have solid water. And basically moving through these different phase changes. So these are the words that you've seen before: boiling or evaporating. We have freezing, we have melting, condensation. If we were to really skip and go from solid all the way to a gas, it's sublimation, and gas all the way to a solid would be deposition. So just know that as you're moving right, this is the energy being added, which means it's an endothermic process. As you're moving left, that means energy is being removed. So that's an exothermic process. So use that information on this next part.